So the core of the desktop virtualization can be viewed as a central server-based resource pool. What is the advantage of these pools is, and the virtual desktop is, it provides you a feature-rich and anytime, anywhere use environment to the user. A cloud service and the local server will be obtained so that you will get a high quality product with agility and speed. Hello students, welcome to the next session of Cloud Computing and Big Data Analytics. I am Dr. Soumyashri from Department of Computer Science, Vidyashram College. In the last session, I explained you about the virtual desktop infrastructure. Can you remember? Virtual desktop infrastructure is a facility given by the cloud computing or cloud service providers which will facilitate the view of the applications in a virtual desktop, which is not actual, but every service, hardware, software or any service will be available in the desktop, which will be provided again by the cloud service provider. Okay, let's take some more explanation about this virtual desktop infrastructure. In this session, I'm going to tell you about the services provided by the VDI or the virtual desktop infrastructure, okay, which is called as the desktop virtualization. You are virtualizing the desktop where every service will be available directly from the cloud, okay, like we use PlayStations or something we use as e-commerce shopping. All these things will be provided as a desktop for you, virtual desktop, where all the services provided by the cloud service provider will be given for you in the form of a desktop. Virtual desktop services or desktop virtualization services are based on the central server that are placed in the cloud service providers. Alright, there will be servers for anywhere you need to have the server, maybe local server or remote server. You need to have the server, isn't it? So the core of the desktop virtualization can be viewed as a central server-based resource pool. All these resources that are listed in the virtual desktop are taken from the central server of the service provider with components which are connected, and users can view the applications using the network and the storage resources. All the resources of the cloud service will be utilized in giving you the view of a virtual desktop, like you may be using the facility of networking, you may be using the facility of storage from the cloud. Every resource from the cloud will involve in providing you the view of a virtual desktop. Okay, the virtual desktop uses the user or the vendor to centrally host and deliver an efficient desktop environment. They need an efficient desktop environment from the data center. They'll take the service from the cloud server and organizes it into a desktop feature. Okay. Next we have the management of the virtual desktop. How do you manage the desktop in the virtual desktop? Because you are not present there to control the virtual desktop, but you have to remotely manage the desktop, isn't it? So virtualized clients will be there who are not visible and we cannot see what they are doing with the desktop. So that you have to control, because control must be in the form of or in the hands of the service provider, because he has to control what are the services that must be given to the client. Okay, he is not the one who can decide what are the services that must be visible in the desktop. It is the service provider who decides what are the service things a desktop, a virtual desktop or VDI can have. Okay, this virtualized clients and the management of the desktop is managed by the service providers. Okay, and VDI server based client technology will be used to manage the virtual desktop. Along with that, the VDI brings together the desirable features of traditional server. So you may have a traditional server, local server, which are available, and you are implementing even the or using even the virtual desktop. That means the virtual desktop not only gets the service or lists the service from the cloud, it also must exhibit the features of traditional terminal server or traditional desktop, while it must retain important features of the distributed computing. Important features of distributed computing. Distributed computing is nothing but services are distributed over several clients or several systems. So distributed computing is performing the computation over a distributed system, not on the single system, but on the distributed system. Like for example, if you take the example of a bank server, you may have a single bank server in a centralized place. That centralized server is connected to hundreds of branches of the bank, isn't it? So same data in the server will be accessed by all the 100 branches of the bank along with all the 200 ATMs distributed over the country. If you have a bank, say it is SBI or SBM or any other bank, you'll be having hundreds, thousands of branches and thousands of ATM machines, isn't it? So all must be connected to a central server so that all the data will be stored in the central server only. If I am an account holder in a bank, my details will be centralized in the centralized server of the bank. What happens if I get an ATM or if I withdraw some money for ATM from Mysore? It will be reflected in your account. If you draw 5,000 from your account from Mysore, it has to deduct 5,000. If you have 50,000, it has to deduct 5,000. Somewhere else, you go to a trip, you'll remove 10,000 or you'll withdraw 10,000 from Mumbai or Delhi or Kolkata. So from somewhere else, you are drawing another 10,000. So this 10,000 must also be deducted from your account irrespective of from which location you are accessing the server. From any location you can access the server. It must reflect the changes you have made, whether you have deposited or whether you have withdrawn. So all these things will be distributed. It is not in a single place. The data is in the single place where it can be accessed by all the connected systems throughout the location, isn't it? So that term is called as the distributed computing. The virtual desktop infrastructure, along with giving the feel of central terminal, that is traditional terminal, it also must retain the important features of the distributed computing. That means all the services shared by the cloud must be available in the virtual desktop. And how the user is going to use these services available in the desktop will also be managed by the service providers. Okay. Next thing is pool management for VDI. Pool is nothing but group of similar services. That is the pool management. How do you manage a pool in the virtual desktop infrastructure or the VDI? How you are going to manage it? Okay, management server, there will be a management server which authenticates the user. First thing the VDI management or the pool management must do is authenticating the login of a user. So user must be authenticated so that the unauthorized user will not be able to access the data that you have accessed. Or there must be privacy of data that you have stored or accessed or updated, whatever you may have done. Your data must be secured, isn't it? For that, the management server must authenticate your credentials, determines the pool they belong to which pool of virtual desktop the user is belonging to. And that means what category of services the client is going to obtain. Okay, and using predetermined policies, there will be certain policies and standards that will be followed by the VDI or the cloud service provider. The user or the pool must fulfill those policies, and the provisions a desktop that end user can use. So how do you provision the services to the user of the pool? Pool is nothing but group of similar kind of services. How do you provision a desktop that the end user is going to use will be a thing. Using the authentication and to which pool the user is belonging to. The user is provisioned a suitable desktop for using. Okay. Along with that, when a group of users in a group of services, when a group of users is included in a persistent tool, which is permanent. Persistent is permanent, which is not going to change. Some of the services will be available throughout the time duration. That means like some database services, networking services will always be needed by the client at any time. So what the cloud provider will do is, he'll make the pool of services which are persistent and non-persistent. Persistent is which is needed every time and which will remain in the pool as it is or in the desktop as it is. But there will be non-persistent tool which are needed for time being. After that time slice, the services can be withdrawn. So that is called as the non-persistent tool. The pool management checks for when a group of users is included in a persistent tool which are permanent, every user in the group is entitled. Everyone in the user in the group is entitled to any of the virtual desktops in the pool. Okay, any one of the service will be given to the user. Okay, virtual desktop in the pool. So one of the virtual desktop will be provided to the user so that the user can make the use of the virtual desktop, which is in the case of the persistent tool. Okay. Next is the maximizing the use of non-persistent tool. That is the pool, non-persistent pool which gives you the service which are time-based for shorter duration. So minimizing the use of non-persistent tool is recommended. To whom? To whom it is recommended is user who do not have a desktop customization. They do not have the customization of their virtual desktop. They are just using it. In such a case, non-persistent pools are recommended for them because they can add the services whenever they want. There will be provision, and whenever they don't need it, that pool, the service from the pool will be deprovisioned. So like this, the pool management must be done in the virtual desktop infrastructure. What is the advantage of these pools is, and the virtual desktop is, it provides you a feature-rich and anytime, anywhere use environment to the user so that he can access to any service from anywhere. He has the flexibility of using the services from any location at any time. This adds to the advantage of the cloud computing. Along with that, the virtual desktop gives you the view of project-based model. That means you can use the virtual desktop to develop your own project with minimum cost. With a minimum subscription fee, you can access the service from the cloud and you can perform your project or you can implement your project. Whereas the traditional desktop allows you to purchase everything. You need to purchase everything. You have to have a licensed software to develop a project, even though it is a student level project, or if you are doing for your academic purpose, you need to purchase the software in order to perform the project. How you can avoid this cost is by accessing the virtual desktop from any of the non-persistent or persistent pool in the VDI. So these are the some of the advantages or benefits that you can draw from a virtual desktop infrastructure. All right. Next, we shall move on to the next concept, that is the storage cloud. Okay. What is a storage cloud? Why do we use it? What are the characteristics of a storage cloud? Why do you need storage cloud? All these things can be discussed in this concept of storage cloud. Okay, storage cloud is nothing but managing the storage of the data. You are not going to store anything, but you are going to manage the stored data in the storage of the cloud computing. All right, storage management in cloud can help organization to address their challenges. What are the different challenges they are facing that can be solved by using the storage of the cloud? And storage management in their clouds can give the advantage of availability of data at all times when compared to the local server or storing data in the local server. The advantage of using the cloud for storing the data is, one thing is the data is available every time or all the time. Another advantage is storage resource and utilization. You can have as many resources as you can have. You have the facility of characteristic of the expandability or scalability of the cloud services, isn't it? You can have more number of resources without much investment and much waiting of the product, waiting for the product to be purchased and to be ready to use. Instead of that, you can directly get the resources from the cloud and you can utilize it to the maximum extent. Next, application performance. You can have different applications you need it for your project or your task, and it increases the performance of the application. The next thing that you can observe in storage cloud is it provides you the facility of longer restore times. Even though you have closed your task or you have deprovisioned the service from your desktop, the data will be available in the cloud for longer time or until you delete them or you think you don't need it anymore, you can delete those data. Otherwise, the data will be available for longer time to restore. Whenever you feel that you need those data, you can restore the data. Next, higher storage costs. So there will be higher storage costs as you increase the number of storage or number of memory space you need, the cost will be more in the storage cloud. Next is low productivity of storage personnel. So suppose we have higher storage cost, low productivity of storage personnel. So there will be productivity will be low with having storage in the cloud as well as in the local server. Along with that, increased risk of data loss and downtime. Some of the challenges will be more risk of losing your data or someone else stealing your data in case of the storage cloud. Okay, there are some of the advantages as well as some of the drawbacks or challenges that you have to face in a storage cloud. All right. Now, let's have a look at the characteristics of the storage cloud. First thing is value proposition. Next, we have the different challenges that must be faced in a storage cloud. Next, the business drivers, the benefits, the product or the solution overview. How does the product will be delivered? Then product or solution description. Something about the product or the solution that will be given to your problem. So these are the some of the characters that will be discussed in the storage cloud. The first thing is the value proposition. Okay. The value proposition suggests that the storage cloud reduces the complexity of managing. What is the complexity is managing and the cloud environment. So the complexity of the management of the data or the memory will be reduced by the storage cloud, which provides you a complete portfolio of automated solutions. It gives you the portfolio or list of automated solutions which are given for managing the data and storage infrastructure in the cloud. Okay, so this storage cloud facility will be available to reduce the complexity as well as the better method of managing the data in the cloud when compared to the local server. Along with that, we'll be having data and storage management which are needed to provide a reliable, the service must be reliable, on-demand service must be there. Whenever you ask for a service, the cloud must be able to provide you the service. If you are asking for the service somewhere else from any corner of the world, you are sitting in America and you are asking for the service from the storage cloud residing in Europe or in Australia or in Asia, it must be able to fulfill your service based on the demand, on-demand service experience, and reduces the cost of investing on the local server and reduces some of the risk. All the risk will not be reduced, but some of the risk can be reduced by using the storage cloud. Along with that, if you are a cloud vendor, you can offer the service of technologies. The latest technologies or most common technologies for storing the data or some hardware, that is IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service, storage, it will also be infrastructure as a service, and software to support the subscribers. It will be platform as a service and software as a service, PaaS and SaaS. All these three technologies, three types of services will be given by the cloud vendors in case of storage cloud. Next thing is, what are the different challenges that will be faced by the cloud administrator and the customers of the storage cloud? One of the challenge that will be faced by the cloud administrator is looking at whether the data is available for every time. He has to resolve the problems that arise whenever the customer is trying to access a particular data. And application performance, if the cloud is providing a PaaS or platform as a service, he has to look that the application is performing well or performing according to the requirement of the user, so that the user will be able to perform his task in the obtained service. This is the challenge. Another challenge is initially he has to put capital investment on the products, maybe IaaS, PaaS or SaaS. The cloud administrator must put certain high capital for purchasing all those services. And operating cost, the cost of maintaining the services, providing the security to the services, maintenance of the services, time by time they have to renew the subscription or they have to repurchase the products, they have to update the products time to time. So all these things, operating cost must be taken care. There may be the chances of less return. If the service is not obtained by enough clients, there will be less return, in turn less profit on investment. There will be a loss of a certain amount based on how much clients have accessed my service. If the number of clients is less, I'll get less profit or less return on what I have invested on the cloud service to provide. Another is utilization of storage resources. So there will be a deterioration of quality of the storage as the more number of clients are going to use. After certain time, the quality of the storage resources will be reduced. So if you have a server, after some 10 years, the quality of the server will be reduced because it will be affected by so many attacks. So there will be attempts made on the server. So with the time being, the quality of the server will be reduced. What you have to do? You have to make again the capital investment to upgrade your server to make extra facility to the client. Next is lack of automation. If any service lacks automation, that is, it is not upgraded automatically, the client will be not satisfied or dissatisfied with the service of the administrator. So he can change or migrate to another platform telling you that your service is not as expected. So these are some of the challenges faced by the administrators of the storage cloud. When it comes to the part of the customers, what are the challenges faced by the customers? So one of the challenges, paying for only what they use, because before accessing or getting subscribed to a service, the user or the customer must know how much service he needs from the cloud. Without that, he will be in a loss, isn't it? If I take a PaaS or if I take a IaaS, thinking that I may need this software, I'll assume that I need this software, and I will purchase it. But even after the product is finished, I haven't used that PaaS for even a single time. That means I have wasted money on a product which is not even once used or very rarely used. So that is one of the challenge. You have to pay what you really need or what you really use. That will be a complicated task to know how much I need and how much may I use. So I can't look into the future, how much I need this product, how much I need a PHP software in my future. I don't know. So I have to predict how much I need that software, whether I have to subscribe to that service. All these things must be assumed. If assumption goes wrong, I will be in loss. That is one of the challenge. Next is cutting the cost to know if first thing is getting the service which is not to use, which is of no use, I am not going to use it. Another is paying for something or not subscribing to something which I badly need, but I'm not going to access it because I'm the administrator and somebody in the development team or testing team need that service in an enterprise. But I don't know about that. Even after requisition by the team, I'm not going to subscribe to that service. You have to look into how to cut the cost. With the effect of cutting the cost, you need to have the services which are necessary and you must avoid the subscription of services which are very rarely used. Next is monthly payments. You have to go on checking what is the last date of the payment of this service, what is the last date of subscription of this service, whether I need to extend the service or not, whether I have to deprovision the service or I have to continue with the provisioning of the service. All these things must be done with the monthly payments. Next is having a standardized system. So you need to have the standardized service that must be obtained from the storage cloud. Another challenge is getting the updated version. You need to have the updated version of all the services you are accessing. Okay, these are some of the challenges that are faced both by the administrators of the cloud and the users of the cloud. All right. Next, you need to know about the drivers, the business drivers. What are the business drivers are going to do? Okay. Why do you need the business drivers? You need the business drivers for standardization and automation of the storage. You have to automate the resources as well as the standardization of the storage services so that it helps in business. Next, meet service levels consistently meeting the service level. What is the service level needed by a cloud must be consistently provided to the customers. Then simplified management. You need to have as simple as possible. Your management must be as simple as possible so that the storage infrastructure will be efficiently managed. Okay. Then you need to have the security of the data. You have to maintain the security of the data, whether you are getting a good return or not. You have to take care of the data that are stored by the customers and the compliance issues, whether it is compliable with other services, other softwares that are subscribed. All those things must be taken care. Next, you have to lower the cost in order to continue your service. If the profit what you are getting are going to reduce day by day or month by month or year by year, you cannot run your business. Even though it is a service, it is a business. Cloud service is a business. You have to lower the cost which are needed to be made on the cloud service to run must be lowered as much as possible. Okay. Next thing what you need to know in storage cloud is the benefits of storage cloud. What are the benefits that you can draw from the storage cloud? One thing is the storage cloud improves the service level to the customer. Customer can have satisfaction over the service you are giving. It reduces the capital and operational expense. Instead of having everything in a local server, if you go for a storage cloud, you can reduce the capital and operational expenses. Next advantage is it optimizes the utilization of storage resources. It efficiently uses the storage to perform different applications. Next advantage is it reduces the cost of investment on hardware, software as well as administration. If you have purchased the hardware and the software, you need to have the administrators to manage those things, isn't it? If you have purchased some hardware, you need to have a person who looks into the management of all the hardware components. The accessing of storage cloud reduces this chance of investing on the administration cost. Okay. The last advantage is the storage cloud manages the risk and streamlines the compliance, whether the services you have obtained is complementing with your system. All these things can be looked up in the storage cloud. Now we shall move on to the concept of reviewing the product or solution given by the storage cloud. Okay, the storage management software and service solutions for the cloud that are available in the cloud service will help ensure that the business and the IT are aligned so that they can have a cooperated environment to get a high quality product. Okay, and they are supported by integrated service management. The integration of the cloud service and the local server will be obtained so that you will get a high quality product with agility and speed that takes high quality product in a less time. So the storage cloud helps in getting a workload optimized approach. So what does workload optimized approach means is workload is normal, not over workload. Optimized approach is having high speed, that is delivering a standard product in a less time, which is possible with the help of the storage cloud. Along with that, the cloud services include the worldwide capability, takes the chances of worldwide capability and capacity to provide the integrated clouds. There will be multiple clouds that provide you the service and which meet the storage management needs. What are the needs you need from a storage cloud will be provided by the integrated environment of the cloud. Along with that, cloud vendors offer the complete portfolio. What does the portfolio of the cloud includes is automated solutions. What are the automated solutions? Is of hardware, software and applications which are needed for managing the data and the storage infrastructure. Okay. When you come to the description of the product or the solution provided by the storage cloud, the cloud-based system, if you are using a cloud-based system, they have brought a new scalable application model which are able to deliver a better service with the help of the cloud-based concept. When compared to the local-based model or service delivery model, the cloud-based model will be having a better quality and speed. Along with that, it helps the client to save the money and increase the flexibility of the application. You can flexibly provision and deprovision the product whenever you need. Okay. Along with that, if you have the absence of a storage management in the cloud, results in the lack of visibility. You don't know how many services you have obtained, what is the quality of the service, whether you want to continue that service or not. that also will not be known to the user. And you have to do the better utilization of the storage if you have the better storage management. Okay. Provisioning and deprovisioning, cost and associated risk will not be known if you don't have a storage management. What does the product or the solution description says is, along with getting the service, you need to have a better storage management which helps you to get the better service with better storage utilization, better provisioning of the services, reduced cost and reduced risk. All right. So this is all about the different offerings that are given by the cloud. Till now, we had a view about the different offerings given by the cloud. All right. In the next session, I'm going to explain about the management of the cloud. How does the cloud can be managed? Thank you.